Good morning, students. In today's class, I am going to tell you the story of the novel Tess of the D'Urbervilles. The novel is about Tess Durbeyfield, a young, beautiful, and very simple rustic girl. This novel is one of the greatest tragic novels of the world and is also a very pathetic novel. Hardy has divided the story of the novel or the plot of the novel into 7 phases. These phases depicts the various stages or phases of the life of the heroine Tess Durbeyfield. And they are like this: Phase 1, the maiden; Phase 2, maiden no more; Phase 3, the rally; Phase 4, the consequence; Phase 5, the woman pays; Phase 6, the convert; and Phase 7, fulfillment. Okay, so the story is about Tess, and she is the eldest child of the Durbeyfield family living in a village. Her father, John Durbeyfield, is a haggler by profession. Haggler means he's a sort of a dealer who bargains too much. He's a careless head of the family and he loves drinking. Her mother, Joan Durbeyfield, is a hard-working lady and she always tries her best to see the family happy. The poverty of the family has deprived the children of schooling, and even Tess has been able to reach up to 6th standard only. John Durbeyfield passes most of his time in drinking in a local inn. Like many other poor Wessex rustics, he too likes to forget the drudgery of poverty and the worries and anxieties related to their families. Then one evening in May, the local priest informs John Durbeyfield that he is the last descendant of the noble and knightly family of the D'Urbervilles. And this news startles him. Meanwhile, Tess joins the other village girls in the May dance, where Tess briefly exchanges glances with a young man. Her father, Mr. Durbeyfield, and her mother, John Durbeyfield, decide to send Tess to the D'Urberville mansion, where they hope Mrs. D'Urberville will make Tess's fortune. In reality, Mrs. D'Urberville is no relation to Tess at all. It's just like her husband, the merchant Simon Stokes, simply changed his name to D'Urberville after he retired. But Tess is unaware of all these things. She was unaware of the fact, and when Alec D'Urberville, Mrs. D'Urberville's son, procures Tess a job of tending fowls on the D'Urberville estate, Tess has no choice but to accept, since she blames herself for an accident involving the family's horse, its only means of income. Tess spends several months at this job, resisting Alec's attempts to seduce her. But finally, one day, Alec takes advantage of her in the woods one night after a fair when they were returning from there. Tess knows she does not love Alec. She returns home to her family, and there she gave birth to Alec's child, and whom she christens Sorrow. sorrow, her son, dies soon after he is born, and Tess spends a miserable year at home before deciding to seek work elsewhere. She finally accepts a job as a milkmaid at the Talbothy's dairy. At Talbothy's, Tess enjoys a period of contentment and happiness. She also enjoys the company of her fellow milkmaids, and they became friends. The name of these milkmaids are Is, Retty, and Marian. And there she meets a man named Angel Clare. And this man turns out to be the man from the May Day dance at the beginning of the novel. Tess and Angel slowly fall in love. They grow closer throughout Tess's time at Talbothy's. She eventually accepts his proposal of marriage. Still, she is troubled by pangs of conscience and feels that she should tell Angel about her past. She writes him a confessional letter and slips it under his door before their marriage. But unfortunately, due to circumstances or the role of the fate and chance, it slides under the carpet and Angel never sees it. They get married, and after their wedding, Angel and Tess both confess indiscretions. Angel tells Tess about an affair he had with an older woman in London, and Tess tells Angel about her history with Alec. Tess forgives Angel, but Angel cannot forgive Tess. He gives her some money and boards a ship bound for Brazil, where he thinks he might establish a farm. He tells Tess he will try to accept her past, but warns her not to try to join him until he himself comes for her. Meanwhile, Tess struggles. She has a difficult time finding work and is forced to take a job at an unpleasant farm. She tries to visit Angel's family but overhears his brothers discussing Angel's poor marriage, and so she leaves. She hears a wandering preacher speak and is stunned to discover that he is Alec Double, who has been converted to Christianity by Angel's father, the Reverend Clare. Alec and Tess are each shaken by their encounter, and Alec appallingly begs Tess never to tempt him again. Soon after, he again begs Tess to marry him, having turned his back on his religious ways. Tess learns from her sister Lisa Lou that her mother is near death, and Tess is forced to return home to take care of her mother. Her mother recovers, but unfortunately, her father dies soon after. When the family is evicted from their home, Alec offers help, but Tess refuses to accept, knowing he only wants to oblige her to him again. Obligate her to him again. At last, Angel also decides to forgive his wife. He leaves Brazil, desperate to find her. Instead, he finds her mother, who tells him that Tess has gone to a village called Sansborn. In Sansborn, he finds Tess in an expensive boarding house called the Herons. where he tells her he has forgiven her and begs her to take him back. But Tess tells him he has come too late. She was unable to resist and went back to Alec Double. Angel leaves in a daze and heartbroken to the point of madness. Tess goes upstairs and stabs Alec to death because she feels that he is responsible for all these problems in her life. And when the landlady finds Alec's body, she raises an alarm. But Tess has already fled to find Angel. Angel agrees to help Tess, though he cannot quite believe that she has actually murdered Alec. They hide out in an empty mansion for a few days, then travel farther. When they came to Stonehenge, Tess goes to sleep. But when morning breaks shortly thereafter, a search party discovers them. Finally, Tess is arrested and sent to jail. Angel and Lisa Lou watch as a black flag is raised over the prison, signaling Tess's execution. So, this is the story of the novel Tess of the Doubles in brief, and it is quite clear that it is really a very tragic story of the heroine Tess, and the novel is a very pathetic one. So that's all for today, students. Thank you.